John Calipari is here in Minneapolis with us. 35 players drafted since you've been at Kentucky. Do you know what the second most productive entity is in terms of draft picks during that time? The country of Spain. You're beating Spain by 12. Spain's had 23 players drafted. You've had 35.
And Reese, we also saw every one of those 35 jerseys in Selection Sunday.
Hey, a guy who gets a lifetime contract knows it's always about recruiting, right?
And then they declare you dead in 2 years, so that's okay.
Let's see, look at this. This was a great shot here. DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Anthony Davis. Hey, John, we were talking earlier about how this tournament, so much is in it, so much of it is arbitrary. There's the randomness factor to it that can leave you heartbroken. What is it about measuring success by virtue of how you do in the tournament, and how accurate is that in your judgment?
Well, there is something to it because we're all playing for March, and if you're going game to game through the season, you're not making it through March. But there's the other side of this where 2 years ago we played North Carolina, a buzzer beater beats us, or maybe we went, I mean, they won, and then the next year we missed some free throws. This year, overtime, and you're devastated, and it takes time to step back. Like, I tried to jump out the window of the hotel, but the window wouldn't open. So it was I was happy there was nothing there, but it's hard for all of us because one coach is going to be happy. The rest of us aren't going to be happy.
Look, I know you love hanging out with us, but how difficult, honestly, is it being here in this moment in time as opposed to doing what you really want to be doing?
Well, you made me come here, or I wouldn't have been on the stage. You called me and stalked me, or I wouldn't have been here. But I would come to the Final Four because there's NABC stuff, coaching things I have to do. And I want to make sure when I'm done with this sport that you kind of leave it better than when you got it in a lot of different ways. So I want to be involved in the dialogue. Now that we took a graduate transfer, they're trying to do away with graduate transfers. So if there's anything you want changed, just tell me, we'll do it. And in most cases, they'll say, oh, it takes us years to change. Unless I do something, then that change right away. But, you know, let me just say with Reed Travis, what a pleasure to coach him. I mean, this guy gave everything, talking in the classroom, but on the court, first guy out, every treatment focused on me. I mean, any NBA team that gets him, he helps you change the culture. He gets that guy to walk in that's going to be totally professional. The young guys that come in there, it's hard because they learn from us, but they don't know the true commitment, the grind, because it's been 1 year. Now I'm going to get a new car. I got my watch. I'm going to get a house. I'm going to get my parents' stuff. And by the way, I got to play some basketball. So at some point, he knows it. I can't wait to see what team he goes with.
Cal, one of the big narratives of this tournament and this Final Four has been, man, experience wins. And it seems like people are bringing agendas to it. But you're talking about the idea that, well, you can't win with younger players, and especially one-and-done players. But yet Kentucky, since you've been there, has had the most Final Fours and has won the most NCAA tournament games.
You're going to get in trouble, both of you two, if you add to this. But go ahead.
But defending you and what you've done here.
You're going to get in trouble.
When you hear the narrative about, see, you can't do it, how do you answer that?
I think it's false because, again, 2 years ago and this year, I mean, we're like right and maybe, and it's one play and it's all I can tell you is I want to coach really good players who are willing to share, that understand it's about the team, that know that you're going to be in a grind every day, that you're here to get better. I like coaching talented players. I enjoy that, but I enjoy more that talented player going like this and getting better, and the people around him saying, I knew he'd be good, I never thought he'd be this good. If a guy says to me, I don't care, I just want to get to the league, I'm not worried about all that work and this, and I want to shoot 20, you're not coming with us. Mm-hmm. And I also think, again, it's all, like you're saying, Jay, it's year to year. This year, the veteran kids win. I may have 5 freshmen start and we win. I mean, then you're going to say, well, you have to, it's year to year. I mean, and you're right. It's your draw. It's what happened along the way. Sometimes it's a whistle or two. You know, sometimes what happened to us this year a little bit, we kind of turned into freshmen for the first time for about 4 minutes. It was only 4 minutes. And we kind of like went, like, who are you? You know? But I'm telling you, and I said it to you guys, I gained my years back coaching this team. I mean, I had a ball. They tried. They were gym rats. If I went to the gym at 11 o'clock at night, I went into my office. You had 4 or 5 guys in the gym. It was fun. So I'm not sure. But right now, it's right, the veteran guys.
JC, I feel like your stats always speak for themselves, and Jay just alluded to allow them the 305 wins. So impressive, but what's been more impressive to me is the relevancy that you've been able to maintain throughout your stretch of being at UK. How does the blueprint, and I know you're not going to give away everything to everybody, but how has the blueprint changed to a degree when the one-and-dones go away? Like, what's the next step in the evolution of Calipari coaching?
I don't know exactly. But whatever it is, we're going to try to be first at it. and all I can tell you is there was no plan for one and done, except my first year, 5 guys went in the first round. And you sit there, unless you're not thinking, you go, wait a minute, what just happened? And then you say, can we survive this way? How do I do this? I'm going to have a new team next year. Good, we went to a Final Four, and we lost 4 guys. Well, how do I do it? We won the national championship starting 3 freshmen. Ever since then, there's been a turnover that's been good for the players. Let me say this. I'm humbled by what the University of Kentucky has done to honor. You know, it's like an honor to say but it's more of an affirmation of what we're doing for these kids, and they agree. We agree that you're about these kids, you're focused on them, and we agree with you. And that's why we want you to coach here till you don't feel like coaching anymore, which may be 2 years from now.